Hey, what's up guys? Phoenix here. This video is going to be another YGOpro Duel video, this time playing with the Zodiac Beast or Juunishishi deck yet again. Now, this is a very interesting deck, and I ultimately enjoy playing it a lot. There's a lot of different play lines you can go down with this deck, and I have yet to figure out what all of them are, even though I've been playing this deck for a couple of hours at this point, like worth of actual playtesting off camera. But basically, people think this deck is Terra Top or Bust, and that's pretty much the furthest thing from the truth that you could actually say, because you do have many other interactions involving getting to your Momorat in some way, shape, or form with Tenki, with your Triangle of the Zodiac Beasts. Hell, you can even open combinations of plays like Thoroughblade plus Momorat to get a draw, cycle the Momorat into your graveyard to get a draw, and then re-equip it with Tigris and start going into multiple Xyz summons in that way. There are multiple different ways you can get your play string started, and you can do quite a lot with this deck once you get that play string started in whatever way you were capable of doing. Now, something I didn't touch on in the previous video, I made some changes to the extra deck, but I didn't really go over them in any sort of detail. I put Giant Hand in because this card is really good in the mirror match to be able to like negate Terra Top, negate Invoker, one of those things. Put Emerald in because there's very often times that you can go for a rank 4 with this deck that's not one of your Zodiac Beasts. So being able to reset Momorats or even reset Takatomborg is actually just a really big asset. And it's just a card that you can summon and not have to wait on drawing or sending to grave with Momorat like Zodiac Beast Seasonal Direction or Jar of Avarice. You have to draw these cards, whereas Daigusto Emerald is a card that allows you to potentially have some recycling in your main deck and your extra deck that you're capable of summoning on a moment's notice. And then there's Grand Pulse in here because Terra Top into Takatomborg can be a Grand Pulse play if you are going second. Thus, you are still preserving your normal summon to use on things like Thoroughblade and Momorats, while also dealing with a potential back row related threat. That was something I was noticing a problem this deck had, was going second, dealing with a back row, because it would definitely just stop the first play you made, and that was kind of a problem. But these kind of circumvent those issues a little bit in my testing, and ultimately, let's just keep testing this deck and seeing if we can get closer and closer to an ideal build. So I'm not going to waste any more time in this portion of the video, and let's just hop into the game, shall we? Alright, for God's sake, please don't let me play against Dark Magicians. I'm tired of that flavor of the month. I'm tired of it. Oh, hell yeah. Terra Top. And he let me go first. Oh my god. Alright, let's see if he just leaves. Because that's been quite the commonplace thing that's been happening, is that people will just leave. Which, I mean, I can't really fault them for, but still. And this is actually really good, because if this gets Veilered or, whatever, like in this situation I have Tenki, which I can use Tenki for Momorat. And then Momorat can just get normal summoned and make 3 Xyz monsters just happen out of nowhere. So we'll special this. Is he going to max me? He has a 6-card extra deck. I just noticed that. What is he playing? Like Glad Beast? No, even Glad Beast would fill out their extra deck with Xyz monsters. So like, I'm curious as to what this is. Definitely going to be potentially checking replays, but really the matchups that you're playing against aren't really the most, what's the word I'm looking for? The matchups you're playing aren't really the most important things about these videos. It's more of just showcasing the new deck in question and how it functions. But, I mean, hey, let's go for it, shall we? Let's do the Momorat play. The Momorat draw 3 play plus 5. Let's go. Let's go Turbo. But Tenki can get Viper, which is very good, very important. And then this gets to put whatever the 2000 defense one, what is it, Drum or something? Being able to put Drum under Drum or Base, whatever it is. I'll figure it out in a second. But the trap being able to put that under Drancia, making it have, a rather big defensive value, is pretty important. At least I think so. And I mean, I think a lot of things, but sometimes those things are actually relevant things. So we'll find out. But so from here, the typical play, Bullhorn into Bearman into drawing 3 cards. Seems pretty good, at least I think so. I think a lot of things, as we've already gone over. Use another Zodiac Beast monster, yes. There we go. That lag. There's a lot less lag since I've switched out my background for the one that does not move. I've switched out the moving background for my static background, and my FPS has improved a ton. And this game is incredibly responsive now, whereas before it was pretty not. It was pretty not responsive. So that's a very, very big improvement, and I'm very pleased at it being the case. But, so, Giant Trainer. This is one of my favorite cards in the game, is Coach King Giant Trainer. And being able to make this card for free, like, look at this, even if this gets Veilered here, I'm already up 2 cards. Like, that's ridiculous. That's so insane. Viper, okay, good. That's good. That means I potentially don't have to Tinky search for one. What is this? Waiting, you have a card that responds to effect damage. That's so, like, vanilla Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, Quaking Mirror Force. So I've got Strike, I've got Dimension Barrier, I've got all these different things. Dimension Barrier could potentially be very valuable depending on what these 6 extra deck cards are. At least the deck is 40 cards. I mean, I could say whatever I want, but at least this deck is 40 cards. So good on you, sir. But I have Tensu here, which means I could actually go Tensu, and I could actually Tensu into Thoroughblade and get another draw, discarding Viper. Or I could actually discard Seasonal Direction and keep the Viper in my hand. I think let's do that. That's just further cycling more cards, and that's something I really like doing. Yeah, discard the Zodiac Beast card, and this is a Zodiac Beast card. So, unless DevPro is coded incorrectly, or not DevPro, unless Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro is coded incorrectly, I should be able to get a normal summon and discard this and draw a card, because Viper, honestly, is just kind of good enough by itself to have in hand for Drancia, because Drancia can protect itself by popping a monster. So there is that. No. Yes, so discard and draw Rubina. So Rubina is not really that relevant per se, but we'll just put Drancia on top of Bullhorn because I'd rather keep this for a rank 4 option. I've also got Quaking Mirror Force. That's another thing that I just am not really addressing, is the fact that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards. No. No. Why does Yu-Gi-Oh! Do this? I say that, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of the most exciting games I've ever played. Like, this shit just happens, and that means it's because the game is broken. The game is broken beyond repair, potentially. The game definitely needs a reset button if it's gonna fix this brokenness. But it's still one of the more entertaining things I've ever seen. Now, this is a Fire Beast Warrior, and that's annoying, because if it was a Dark, then you'd be able to potentially put, like, Pain Gainer on top of it, but that's not the case. Oh, wow. So I got to go Dimension Barrier, Calling Fusion. How cool. What are your 6 extra deck cards that require a polymerization? But, take the -1 for the polymerization, go into the grave, and Dimension Barrier preventing you from summoning fusions. And what is this? This is, oh, he's playing Predator Plants. Okay. And Evil Swarm Mandragora. Okay. What does this card do? I've never read any of these cards. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 Dark Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field, or monsters your opponent controls, including this card. Okay, well, you can't fusion summon. So, okay. You can have this card on the board all you want. You can't fusion summon. Dimension Barrier stops your entire turn, and now I get to Solemn Strike your Xyz summon if you make one, but you weren't going to make one. Wow. Alright. I want to at least look at his deck list, because I've never seen anyone trying to play Predator Plants before. So I actually want to look at the deck list just to see what it kind of looks like, and also get you guys' opinions on it, on whether or not it's something that's actually kind of okay. Alright, so Predator Plant deck list. His extra deck is just triple Venom Dragon and triple Chimera Rafflesia. I seem to remember this card being pretty good. It's a Predator Plant plus a Dark. Target a monster on the field with a level less than or equal to this card's, which is 7. Alright. Banish it. Okay. When an attack is declared involving this card, you can make that opponent's monster lose 1,000 and it gains 1,000, so it can kill things that are up to 4,500. That's cool. Until the end of this turn, during a standby phase, this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there. You can add 1 polymerization or fusion, so it can search instant fusion. That's all. Those are all really cool effects. I really like this card. I might have to do a card review on that. But anyway, Evil Swarm Mandragora for a free special summon seems pretty alright. Battle Fusion I don't think I agree with. I don't know what most of these cards do. But let's just look at it, because I can easily just stop the video later. Refusion, which is searchable. Crush card. Oh yeah, everything There's a lot of crush card targets in this deck, aren't there? Because everything I've seen so far has been pretty small. Fusion, Recovery, Allures, Drosera. Man, I need to read all these cards. Flash Fusion. The OG Instant Fusion from the GX show. Twin Twisters, Dark Holes. Trump Witch, even more fusion support. Interesting. I don't know how Predator Plants as a deck is. Mark of the Rose sounds insane. Mark of the Rose is Change of Heart. Oh, I remember this card from like the plant format days. Damn, that's like one of my favorite old school Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. And this deck can play it because it's all plants, obviously. Fusion Recovery, Poly, all this. He's not playing Instant Fusion, which is interesting, considering that his Chimera Rafflesia can search it. But hey man, whatever. He's playing Allures. This deck seems pretty, like, at least in theory, seems pretty solid on paper because you have access to all the dark support and you have access to the good plant support and the good fusion support. So, like, it seems pretty cool on paper. I don't know. What do you guys think about this deck list? I have no idea. I've never seen Predator Plants before. The only reason I'm even looking at it now is because I've literally never seen it before. But I might actually look into it a bit more in the future, depending on if, like, the cards are good quality or not. Because I haven't, like I've said, read any of these cards. But other than that, that's going to be it for this video. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to all the nonsense you usually do. Links are in the description to my Facebook, Twitch, and backer music playlists. Those are resources for you to use if you so wish to use them. Other than that, if you like the video and want to support my content, give it a big thumbs up. And if you know some people that might also like my content, I encourage you to share my videos around and maybe encourage them to subscribe as well. Helping grow the channel's viewership base, helping grow the subscriber base, helping grow the amount of people that I reach out to with my content is the best way to show your support of the content that I produce, and the best way to encourage me to keep making more content if that is what you want to keep seeing. But other than that, let me know what you guys think about this Predator Plant deck list. What do you think about the Zodiac Beast deck? What do you think about this game? All that sort of nonsense. I want to know your opinions in the comments down below. As usual, I say that on every video, but it's because I actually do want to see opinions, because sometimes people bring up things that I haven't considered, sometimes people bring up things that I've missed, and sometimes people actually suggest some actually pretty decent ideas for deck lists in the future that actually just end up working out really well in theory and sometimes in practice. So I'm always curious about that. But like I've already said, thank you for watching, and comment, rate, subscribe to all that stuff. I want engagement. That's what I want. I encourage engagement, even though sometimes I get really short with people. I do like the engagement they provide. But other than that, thank you for your time as usual. Thanks for watching, as I've already said. And as always, guys, take care.